From this point, the pre-BT16 discussion is going to start merging into an EX6 format. There's just no good way around it. With the accelerated release of Digimon on Bandai's schedule this year, EX6, Infernal Ascension, is just 1 month away from the release of BT16. Luckily, there aren't any cards from that set for today's deck profile, Malomyotismon. Although BT16 does offer some additional support cards for Malomyotismon, I enjoyed an engine that can still be useful today. No, I'm not using Ukomon, get outta here. But rather, this build has a lot of abilities to cycle the hand and deck to get exactly what you need, or rather, what you want in the trash. Before I begin, huge shout out to Tomo Israel for throwing around ideas with me and helping me playtest. Always appreciate your support and help with the testing. For level 2s, it's going to be the mandatory 1 copy of Demidevimon from BT3 and 4 copies of Demidevimon from BT15. BT15 Demidevimon has become an amazing choice for this deck, mainly because of the fact that your Myotismons, Venommyotismons, and Malomyotismons are great targets. To top it off, even occasional dead cards like Omnimon's Zort Defeat can also be immediate value. Pitching any of these cards can set up your trash for future plays and even draw you 2 cards. With Demidevimon from BT3, this oldie but goodie is still going to get you at least a draw 1 trash 1. I don't recommend any substitutions because Demidevimon is king. For level 3s, my engine largely borrows from the Numemon base, but also starts combining other elements. On one hand, the Demidevimons in combination with Gabumons can lead to trashing more cards to set up the trash, while also simultaneously gaining you a memory if your opponent has a Digimon in play. Those aside, Demidevimon is a 1-up to fill out the level 3s for its searchability and inheritable retaliation. Gabumon X is actually kind of beastly considering you can go into garurumons and then you have battle protection at the level 4 garurumons and can even blast Digivolve into Myotismon for the additional trap. Conveniently, because of Gabumon X you can also not search just garurumons, but Dobermon X as well. And lastly, goblimon for when you trash a card in your hand, gain 1 memory. For substitutions, you can use the usual contenders, floodgates like Psychmon and Gazimon, or you can devote more to the line to searchers like Dracmon or even bring up the copies of Demidevimon. This build isn't like your standard one you've seen online with Ukomons, and in playtesting I've been having a lot of fun with this build. Is it hyper competitive? It's hard to say, mainly because not everyone is playtesting BT16. The only other considerations would be floodgate killers like Elecmon. Level 4 wise, you keep it chill with Garurumon, Garurumon X, and of course, Dobermon X. Dobermon X and Garurumon both have a draw 1 trash 1 effect that works very well in conjunction with Goblimon. And if you have Gabumon X under Garurumon, even better, because now you have battle protection. Garurumon X of course for the mandatory draw 2, trash 2, but keep in mind, this is best utilized with Garurumon. Again, substitutions, you could utilize Dobermon from EX2, but this is a more RNG based variant and you would likely also include option cards like Rival's Barrage. I haven't tested with any substitutions, but have looked into other cards for consideration. With your level 5s of course, you're going to just run Myotismon for the build. Everything level 5 and higher, save the level 7s, should arguably be Myotismon. This will help ensure that your option cards go off and also give you additional value. With the BT8 Myotismon, this Digimon when Digivolving forces you to trash the top 2 cards, and then you may play 1 Yukio Oikawa from your trash without paying cost. Considering you can utilize the effects of some of your Digimon to discard it first before you Digivolve into this, can guarantee a Yukio play. The inheritable makes it so that when your Digimon is deleted, if it has Myotismon in name, you may play 1 Yukio Oikawa from your hand or trash suspended without paying its cost. Meanwhile, the Ace has an on-play and when Digivolving effect that allows you to play 1 purple level 3 Digimon or 1 purple Tamer card from trash without paying the cost. The goal here, get your purple Tamers into the trash as quickly as possible. Substitution-wise, I honestly don't like any of the other Myotismons. Most don't have any on-play effects or are just vanillas with cheap Digivolution costs. Frankly, at most, I'd probably run EX1 Myotismon for the reduced evolution cost, but the purpose of this deck is to cheat out the level 6s, not Digivolve into them. While there is an argument that could be made for where Garurumons, keeping in the Myotismons helps with your option cards and setting up your Tamers. In regards as to why I don't run the Arukenimon or Mumimon engines, you can. The only issue I have with it is you need to have their Tamer in play, and you only reduce the cost by 3, making their play cost 3. My other issue with them is the fact that their effects are only on play, versus on play when digivolving. I do like the elements of Myotismon itself and wanted to keep it more in line with the BT8 and BT15 strategies. In regards to the level 6s, I'm running a total of 8 here. First off, I'm using 2 BT15 Venommyotismons. In testing, I felt that the ratios of missed barriers and Venommyotismon should be equal. All of your level 6s have a Digivolution cost of 4 or higher, meaning it can be difficult at times to maintain turn. However, the bright side of all those level 6s is that they can be played by effects. Malomyotismons, you'll run 2 of the old versions that have an on-play effect where if you have 5 or more cards with Myotismon in their name in their trash, you delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon and trash the top card of their security. The other has a when digivolving when attacking effect that lets you delete one of your Digimon or Tamers to delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. If this effect didn't delete one of your opponent's Digimon, nuke a Tamer. Finally, all turns, once per turn when one of your other Digimon or Tamers is deleted by an effect, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. Malomyotismons have a lot of utility when it comes to controlling the board and not necessarily attacking into security. This is a pseudo form of protection as they are predominantly having to deal with Digimon at this point. I'm still tinkering with the ratios mainly because the Venommyotismons can be great removal of level 5s or lower Digimon and be a big beefy blocker. One other consideration that I pitched with my friend is also promo Metal Garurumon, because this allows you to, on your main, play 1/7 cost or less purple option card without paying the cost by trashing 2 Digivolution sources. Keep in mind, this would lean more into a security option heavy deck, incorporating cards potentially like Rivals Barrage 2. But the concept would let you Venom Infusion for free, and then to pass back turn, yeet Metal Garurumon to play back a Myotismon with Missed Barrier. Again, it's a working concept. For the level 7s, this adds an additional factor of removal because of Omnimon's Ward Defeat. If this gets set up after security check, and BT16 Malomyotismon is played, you have not just one method of removal, but 2. You can attack with Omnimon's Ward Defeat first, and then you'll be able to attack with Malomyotismon, delete Omnimon's Ward Defeat to delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon, and then use Omnimon's Ward Defeat to delete another. I don't think Omnimon's Ward is necessarily the play, but you could utilize it as well if you really wanted to, considering you can revive 2 Myotismons and play back 2 Yukios. Option card wise, 2 Missed Barriers are used to complement your 2 Venommyotismons. This option card does require you to delete a Digimon in order to play back a Myotismon from the trash, but when one of your Myotismon explicitly is deleted, you can delay and play back 1 Venommyotismon from the trash without paying cost. The mandatory 4 in my mind is Venom Infusion. This card lets you trash any Digimon card in your hand to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with less than or equal to the level of the Digimon trash by this effect. Considering security option cards can damper a lot of decks, Magnamon X included, you could pitch even cards like Zwart Defeat to delete the Digimon before it gains immunity, assuming it doesn't have it before the Armor Purge. However, if you pitch a card with Myotismon in its name, you can in addition, draw 2. The last 2 cards of course go to Wisdom Training for a cheap play cost option card and reduction cost for Evo. But for substitutions, again there's a wide variety here. You could go more aggro and do cards like Demonic Disaster, or even cheaper removal cards like Pandemonium Flame or Deathclaw. Because of a slightly higher Tamer count and you have so many ways to recycle them, you could even run purple option cards like Schwartz Lasats. And of course, the Tamers round it all out with 4 Yukio Oikawa and 1 Mad Ishida. Mad Ishida can be played from your Garurumons when they're hitting security. Because of this, I don't see the necessary need to run more than 1. As for Yukio, this is the main card you want to see because this gains you a memory when your Myotismon is deleted, and also plays out your Malomyotismons for free. Because of the overflow when Myotismon Ace is deleted, Yukio can help mitigate this. Other considerations for this could be Alice if you're looking to delete your bodies for the evolution up. But this contradicts what you want to do with your spare bodies, as BT16 Malomyotismon performs best when attacking or digivolving, and there are minions to sacrifice. I had a lot of fun playtesting this build. But what were your thoughts on this build? And where do you go next in regards to the direction of the deck? I'm not too fond of the Arukenimon Mummymon engine because of the high cost associated with it. And while true, it does feel comparable to 4 Sovereigns with the memory passing, this variant doesn't offer any Blast Digivolutions. Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you next time. This is DigiPanda, logging out.